What is going on, Predators? Today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the Wosports Rangefinder. Okay, this is a made in China rangefinder. So this is pretty interesting to see it test it. Right out of the gate, I'm just going to say that it might be something I might use. It might not be. I'm going to say I'm not going to determine, let where it's from determine exactly what happens with this. You know, it could be a backup. Right now, I'm using this. This is my... This is a Redfield Raider, so this is by not any means an expensive rangefinder. This is made by Leupold, but this is like a kind of their lower end budget line. This is again the Redfield Raider by Leupold. All right, so very good, very basic rangefinder here. It has one button on it, all right, and it ranges, and then it tells me through the little reticle there what it looks like, right? So Redfield Raider, great little rangefinder. But today we're going to talk about this one right here, and if this is going to be a good backup or maybe even a primary rangefinder here. So let's open up the box and see what's inside. So let's dump it out. All right, so there's everything out of the box. Just hit myself in the face. That's great. So obviously we've got a strap here, we've got a manual, and we've got a lens cleaning cloth. Nice touch. All right, then we got a carrying bag that has a small carabiner hook on it. Okay, here's a rangefinder, so let's check it out. So Velcro bag, might not take that in the woods, but I don't have money to have another $300 or an initial, honestly, $300 rangefinder. So this might be a really good backup for certain situations. So, all right, so I've got the rangefinder here itself. Initial impressions here. So it's got a grippy rubber on the top. Okay, it's got two buttons. It's got a mode button, so it has several different modes, and it has a power button on the top. Pretty straightforward. All right, now comparing just the weight and the feel of it to the one I currently use, just feeling it in my hand, you can feel when I tap on it. If you can hear that. This one has a little bit more plasticky feel to it. Not in a terrible way. It's got an okay weight, like what I would expect. This one is a little bit heavier, but not by much, I would assume. Okay. So anyways, moving on. Let's see, it's got an adjustable eyepiece here, so you can adjust for focus. All right. The battery door is right here in the back. It flips open. Okay. This is one of the most different things about this compared to my current Leupold Redfield. So the Redfield here, they see what happens is this is a sealed battery door and it unscrews. Okay, so we'll set that there. I'll show you this. And again, this is by no means a super expensive rangefinder. It's a good one though, it works. So I unscrew this, it comes out, and you can see right there, see if I can get it to focus. There we go. It does have a rubber band in there, which means that is an O-ring, and so this is a watertight battery door at least. I have no clue, and I almost have more doubts that it is actually a waterproof system. Like, I bet if I got this thing wet, then it would probably stop working on me. Good chance of it, okay? Anyways, we'll set that one down. Let's talk more about this one. So, again, there is no seal here in the battery door. You can see it's just a hinge. Spring-loaded hinge, and it slides shut. So I did already take the battery and put it in there. Okay, it's a CR2 battery. You know, just looking at this right here, the way this little battery door is made, there we go. I think it wouldn't be too hard to actually water seal the inside of that. I don't know, if you had some like a fine silicone or something like that for like a gasket or something, you could put that in there and it might help with that. Whenever you shut the battery door initially, you can see it's, like I said, it's got a gap there too, so you might want to do that, but okay, not terrible. All right, again, I have just as much confidence in this, even though that battery door is not sealed, that if I get submerged in water or get poured on by rain, that probably either one of these is not really going to survive that very well. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at it. So I'm gonna, initial inspection, you got, like I say, just by looking at it here, you've got, it says, looks like it says next Vista on it. I don't know if that's an actual camouflage pattern here, but that's what it says on it. It looks kind of like a knockoff of a Realtree. I mean, if that's an actual company, like I said, I don't mean to offend anybody, but it kind of does just look like a Realtree knockoff, which is fine. Again, my current one's black. I don't really care if it's camouflage or not. So, but it's cool that they took the time to do that. All right, so we have 3 modes on here. So every time I hit this, it's going to do a different mode selection, right? So the initial mode is basically mode 1, and this is where whenever I hit the button, the mode button, right, on mode 1, and then I can push the power button here and it will range, right? And so every time I tap the power button, it's going to do a range, and it says that it does it by angles too, but we're going to have to test the angle. So with the Redfield Raider, it does that, and it displays the angle that you're holding this at, which is really important for archery. I found this out at Total Archery Challenge last year, where whenever I was angled up and down, like I said, that is going to change your range if you're just going straight up or down like that, you know, at an angle. If you don't have, or sorry, versus straight, if I'm up at an angle, it's going to change my distance to the target and how I need to shoot. So it's nice to have the angle measurement built into the display. This one doesn't show it, apparently, whenever you go to use the angle, but it's supposedly, it says it will work on a slant. It says that in the manual. So that's mode 1. Mode 2 is actually like for golf. So it has basically the ability to see the flag and to get the flag in view in golf so that you know where your hole is at and you can measure the distance that way. With mode 3, it's really interesting. It will actually measure the speed of something. So if I can track something, so I get it in there, I click it, and then I move, I'll actually be able to supposedly track the speed of it. Interesting. I don't know if that works or not. We'll have to test that. But either way, 3 different modes here, so that's pretty cool. Adjustable eyepiece to make sure that the reticle and everything inside is in focus. So really good. Now let's go ahead and take it outside, and we're going to compare it to the Redfield Raider.
So what we're doing here today is we're going to be testing this out. We're going to test the 2 rangefinders against each other. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm having to shout into my bag here because the wind is like 30 miles an hour right now. It's pretty crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be testing. I'm going to verify all these measurements with my phone afterwards, but I'm going to test one rangefinder and then the other at different distances. The first thing I'm going to be testing is there's a series of different little drain pipes coming into this retention ditch back here. So I'm going to test them one by one, and from the same spot here, I'm going to test them one by one and see, you know, how well they hold. This is the Redfield Raider made by Leupold, so let's test it out and see how it goes. So first I am testing here to that first little bit of retention ditch there. The clarity of this, the look in here is very sharp. It does have an adjustable knob here to adjust it. And pretty continuously I'm getting 54, 55 yards from that point there. Next we're going to switch over to the Wosports W1 or W111. Okay. Also got a nice clarity in the lens. And this is actually giving me a fraction of a yard here too, which is nice. So I am at, it does have a little bit of an eye relief thing, right? And I got that black circle that goes around in there, but it's not doing too bad. I'm getting 55.8, 54.3, so yeah, it's pretty accurate, right about the same spot there, okay? Now I'm going to step up at an angle here a little bit, and I'm going to test it, see if it gets the same. 57.5, so I took 2 steps back there. .56. This does compensate. The Redfield Raider actually shows how it's compensating, so it's showing that I'm a -1 degree angle. The Wosports W111 shows that it does that, but it doesn't list it there. So that's one thing that's kind of interesting about it. But all right, so the next spot, there's another one. It's about a little ways down there. It's another one of these retention ditches. This one's straight across the pond here, so I'm going to measure diagonally from this point where I'm standing right here all the way over to that side and we can check it out. So I'm going to start with the Wosports. It's measuring 204 yards. Now we'll check it with the Redfield Raider here from Leupold. So I got 192, 202, 187, 212, 206, 201, 225. It'll be interesting to see what that actually is. Let me go back to this one right here because this was seemed to be more consistent here. 199, 203, 214, 198, 210, 206, 211. So yeah, it's pretty close there. Let's see, let's go to another one here. Let's go a little bit further. So the next spot I'm gonna be measuring to is there's a tree, and it's probably a good 400 yards away there. So let's check it out here, see where it's at. So I got with the Wosports, the W111, I got 341, 341, 342, 341, 341.7, 342. Okay, so it's consistent, if nothing else. Again, we're talking about like wanting to make sure you're ranging something consistently for like a bow shot or something, you know. And again, this is a long range. You would never shoot a bow this far, but just knowing that it's consistent, or if you're using a rifle. So I got 338, 337, 339, 338, 366, 367. So yeah, there's a big variance there. I'm really curious now to see which one of these is actually accurate. So since it's so windy right now, I'm going to go back and do the measurement of the distance. I'm going to be measuring these with the Hunt Stand app, and so I can see really precisely, you know, which one's right and which one's more correct.
Make it look like I'm going down there, okay?
Don't actually go down there. There might be snakes in there, man.
Where is it?
Testing on this this rangefinder on an angle here. So right now I'm at this has got a 30-degree decline or so. We're going to test it with two different rangefinders and see how it does. So let's start with the first one here. Say hi to Lux. So what's up, dude? Okay, so the first one we're going to test here. This is the Leupold, or the Red Raider. And hey, back up a little bit. I need to use your body as a measuring device. So, and there he is right there, standing right there. Let's see what this is. It's reading a...
No!
Get it. You get it. To the water there. It's 21-degree decline. And it's reading 6 yards, so it's compensating for the fact that he's down lower than me. Now we'll get the Wosports out. Oh, just for a record, I don't like this pouch, but that's okay. Pouch doesn't make the rangefinder. All right, now let's test here. So Lux roughly in the same position. It's ranging about 8 yards. I do like how fast this thing ranges. Like every time I hit that button, it's ready to go and it's ranging quick. Move back to that same position you were in, Linux, real quick, just for a sec. Yep, so it's saying 8 yards with that one, and stay right there one more second. Let's see. Yep, it's about 7 yards. So yeah, basically, I mean, it's not a super far distance, but I would say that yeah, it does compensate for the angle there pretty well. Again, there's a little bit of a variance there, but I think that's the same variance that's available, you know, on normal testing here. So I'm gonna have to do this again. I want to do it with a much better rangefinder. I'm gonna either borrow one, or I'm just gonna buy a new rangefinder. We'll see what happens there, but we're gonna test this out with a little bit higher end rangefinder and see how the results change. So thanks for watching, Predators. As always, keep defying the odds.